that you should have wrote in IM1. Is my projector on? Yeah, it is. All right, I said it 3 times, sir. Just so you know, this is just getting us ready for what's to come, okay? All right, how do I translate word problems into a linear equation? So words into math. Yeah? If you have a highlighter, you might want to just get it out. Or you can just underline, that works too, but I am going to highlight some things. Talk about what a constant is. What is a constant? Jamie, you gotta maximize it. It's recording my whole computer right now. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. It'll record the screen of the computer. So if you leave it minimized, it's recording the background too. It's just the way it works. Okay. All right, constant is what? A number. It's just a number. It's a number by itself. It's not next to the one next to the variable. That's a different thing. Next word is variable. Variable is what? A letter what? That represents a number. That's an S. Coefficient. The number what? It is next to it, so what's the operation between the number and the variable? Good, the number being multiplied. to the variable. Little reminder, tomorrow is the second day of coming in after school. I suggest you get here. It's going to probably be floor seating. Just a little guess of what it might be. I have a feeling there's a lot of people tomorrow. There could possibly be. Because I think if you, let's just put it this way, in sixth period only 4 or 5 people passed out of 33. There was 100%, don't worry. And then, yeah. And then there wasn't. All right, words into math. We're going to talk about addition. I'm going to try to make a really big plus sign. It can look like a cross. It's okay. I'm going to put words inside it so it helps us. What are words that represent addition? Add, sum. Not usually together. What else? Increased by. Plus. Sometimes and. More than. Subtraction. What words represent subtraction? Minus. Take away. Decreased by. Lesson was going to go in somewhere else. Subtract. Difference. Good one. Reduced by. So instead of decreased by, it can be reduced by. It just depends on how they use it. Because reduced can also mean to what? Divide. So we have to be careful how we use reduce. We'll squeeze in less than. Reduce, we'll kind of put on the outside. Just depends on how it's being used. We have to be careful. Your turnaround words. So the words that make the order different than when you read it in. So turnaround words change the order the way it was read. Okay? So if I say 7 less than x, I don't write 7 minus x. It's really x minus 7. Okay? So there's a couple words that change the order of the way we write it. So than, from, fewer. With than we mean more and less than. It changes the placement. Or the order. right, we have add, subtract. What comes next? Multiply. So multiplication. I'm going to draw this weird looking X. It works. All right, for multiplication, what words represent multiplication? What is it? Products. What else? Multiply. Diane, did you say one? No. Times. Of. Need to read the way of reads. Need to make sure we're reading it correctly. Twice. What does twice mean? Times 2. It doesn't mean squared. After multiplication is division. We're going to draw the old division sign, just so we can write our words inside it. All right, what represents division? What words? Quotient. What else? Divided by. What else? Reduce. Half, or anytime there's really a fraction. Ratio. Ratio means what? Not necessarily 1. Ratio is a fraction. Ratio is a fraction. Okay. So a lot of times we're talking like 1/8, so it can be 1, but sometimes it's not always 1. But a ratio. Simplify. You did this last year in IM1? Yes? You say sure. It was the beginning of the year. I think it was like my 4th day in notes. All right. Hot mess, child, hot mess. All right, let's talk about equals. What represents equals? I'll give you one. Is equal to total will be sometimes, depending on how it's written, amount can also be the equal sign. Obviously, these are really big on purpose. What are these? Parentheses. All right, so parentheses words. What words represent? No. How about distribute? Times the difference. What does that mean? What does times the difference mean? What's inside the parentheses? Subtraction. Subtraction's inside the parentheses and then multiplication's being on the outside. Twice the sum. What does that mean? Inside the parentheses is addition and on the outside is a times 2. Plus the difference can also be 1. These aren't very common. The one that's very common is twice the sum, like twice something times something, right? Good? All right, let's do examples. So at Fantasy Flowers, a dozen roses sells for $27. What is the cost of each rose? You woke up, Jaime? Okay. Sure can. Better? Oh, she's not in my class anymore, guys. All right, ready? Let's do this. It's 2 parts. It says at Fantasy Flowers, a dozen roses sells for $27. Put a line right there. From here to here is my equation. This part's asking how to solve it. So at Fantasy Flowers, a dozen roses sells for $27. What's important in that sentence? $27. What else? Dozen. We're not on that sentence. 4. Sells 4. What does 4 represent? The equal sign. It's going to be equal to what? 27. So I know it's equal to $27. Now, dozen represents by what? 12. What variable should we be using? You could. F for what? Flower. You can do that. Or R for roses. Doesn't matter as long as you tell me what you're using. So R stands for rose. So how am I going to write that? 12 what? 12R. So this is a 2-part. You have to write the equation. That's the first part. Got it? Done. Now I need to do the second part, which now says what is the cost of each rose. So now I have to solve it. So how am I going to solve it? Divide by 12, and R equals, let's say that correctly, $2.25. Good? She already divided it. Most people don't know that by the way. All right, we good? Does that make sense? So if you notice, I wrote the equation first, and then I solved it. You have to write the equation before you can solve. Got it? All right, let's do another one. Notice I underlined only like 3 things or highlighted 3 things. Everything else was not really needed. Okay, here we go. The difference between 2 angle measures is 45 degrees. The smaller angle measures 80 degrees. What is the measure of the larger angle? The difference between 2 angle measures is 45 degrees. The smaller angle measures 80 degrees. What is the measure of the larger angle? What is the question being asked? We want you to find the measure of the bigger angle, right? So from here is my cutoff. All of this is going to make my equation, correct? All right, so you're going to try to make your equation by yourself. Let's read it. Here we go. The difference between 2 angle measures is 45 degrees. What do you underline or highlight in that sentence? Difference. Difference means what? It does mean I'm subtracting. What else? Is. What does is represent? Equals. What else? 45 degrees. How many things am I subtracting? I am subtracting 2 things. So I need to know that it's 2 things being subtracted. Not that it's a number 2, but I'm subtracting 2 things, right? So I'm going to set up what I know. I know I'm subtracting something, and I know it's equal to 45, correct? So far, so good. Now it says the smaller angle measure is 80 degrees. What do you need there? 80 degrees. Now, do we subtract big from small or small from big? Small from big. Small from big. So is 80 going to go first or second? Second. It is going to go second. So 80 goes here. So if I don't know what this is, what do you want to give it? A. What does A represent? Good. Did anyone have that set up right? Very good. Now what? You got 80. What do you get? 125 what? Degrees. We get to degree second semester. Good? Oh. All right. You're going to try this one by yourself. Ready? You're going to talk to someone next to you, see if you can set it up correctly. This one's a little bit, can be tricky. It's not. John sells vacuum cleaners. Why vacuums? I don't know. He gets to keep 1/8 his sales as a commission. Do we know what commission is? What is commission? Who makes commission that you know very often? Like, what are your big commission makers? Real estate people, people who sell houses. What else? Car salesman. Car salesman, my cousin makes a living on that. 2 of my cousins, actually. Okay? So car salesmen, they make commission off the cars, which is why they kind of bug you when you walk up onto a car dealer. Yeah, have any of you ever gone to just to look? They're really annoying, right? I hide. They don't look at me. I like to go looking like I'm 12. Then they don't bug me. If I don't like put makeup on and dress like a bum, then they think I'm like 15 and I can't afford a car. It's wonderful. They thought that when I was buying my Jeep. They thought my mom was buying my car. How much must he sell, not she, he, in order to make $500? How much must he sell in order to make $500? So, as you're thinking about this problem, is my answer going to be greater than 500 or less than 500? Greater than. Because I'm not making the full commission. That doesn't make sense. Otherwise, why is my company having me sell anything, right? They need to make money. I'm making less than that. Make sense? Okay, try it and set it up. Check with someone, see if you have the same equation. Check. How many of you have an equation? Good, check with somebody. You started out correctly, keep it going. All right, keywords in the first sentence. John sells vacuum cleaners. I don't really care about that, right? Okay. He gets to keep 1/8 his sales as a commission. What's the important part in that sentence? 1/8. Which I know is a what? It's a fraction, good. How much must he sell in order to make $500? $500. So how do I set that up? 1/8 x equals 500. You need to have the variable, yes? Why is it 1/8 x? Because for everything I get an eighth of it, right? So if it was $500, I get an eighth of that. If it's $100, I get an eighth of that. Make sense? Okay. And so 1/8 x equals 500. How do I solve it? Multiply both sides by 8. And how much were the vacuums that I sold? 4,000 what? $4,000. So I sold $4,000. I made $500. The likelihood of you selling vacuums, though, please don't ever do that. Yes. They sell Kirby vacuums. They don't make very much money. They're expensive vacuums, too. They go door to door to houses. It's not very safe. Hi, Stu.